Good morning, friends. Welcome to this Sunday meditation class. Sorry for the slight delay. I was facing some technical issues. I hope you're able to see the slide now. Well, someone is saying that they cannot find the link. You just have to go to YouTube and go to the QLU Global, and you will be able to find. Okay, so that's the way to reach. Okay, friends. So last week we were talking about the importance of spiritual science and soul science, why it is needed. And we also went through a process of meditation. We understood about the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and how meditation can help us to connect to our own spiritual aspect. The fact that we are not just the physical bodies, but that we are this amazing spiritual beings who have come here for a physical life experience, for a life experience in this three-dimensional reality. I hope you're all able to see the presentation, and you will also be able to see me in a picture-in-picture with a small picture, and you will be able to see this presentation on Quantum Life University, which we will talk about as we go along. And for those who missed my last Sunday class, I would like to just have a quick recap of what was spoken about during that class. The first thing is that we are in this reality. We took the analogy of a journey. We all understand that life is a journey. And when you set out on a journey, you need to understand the reality of the locales in which you are going to travel. You need to understand what type of terrain you are going to go through. And based on that, you will have to select the kind of vehicle that you need to navigate through this terrain, and you also need to acclimatize yourself to this terrain. And when you know that you are not just the physical beings, but you are spiritual beings, you also need to understand what is the domain of this spiritual reality in which you exist simultaneously. Because we all exist simultaneously in the physical as well as the non-physical realms. However, we are not tuned to this non-physical reality most of the times. And that's why we have a problem, because we begin to believe that life is just a purely physical experience. And we also discussed how meditation is the fundamental, the most wonderful practice that helps us to connect to our larger reality and to the aspect of ourselves which we can understand better when we connect to the spiritual reality. So now I'm going to talk about why we actually need to focus so much on spiritual science education. Why is it that spiritual science education is actually needed? Why do we actually need a university which is completely focused on spiritual science education? The Quantum Life University, which Dr. Newton had envisioned. And before I go ahead with this presentation, I would like to give my pranams to our mentors, Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi, and to the visionary whose vision of Quantum Life University is now all set to begin contributing to the world, to help them to awaken their inner potential, to awaken the wisdom which is already there within them. So Quantum Life University is this new age university which is going to help everyone to awaken that inner wisdom and help them to what we discussed in the last meditation class was about understanding our reality, understanding the reality completely. Right now, we have some idea about the physical aspects of our reality through the physical senses and through the different physical sciences that we have. But we don't have a complete understanding of a science which helps us to understand the spiritual aspects of our existence. And that's why we need spiritual science or soul science, because the moment we talk about spiritual science, the soul is what we need to discuss about, because it is the soul which is the non-physical aspect of our reality. So Quantum Life University is helping people to awaken the wisdom within. So every individual in the world has immense potential, but most of us just don't realize it. And the key to realizing our potential is the eternal wisdom. We are talking about wisdom which has been there since ages. What is it that has made India such a great country where people from all over the world since ancient times wanted to come here and visit? We have examples more than 2,500 years ago of travelers from different parts of the world. You must have heard about Fahim or Yuan Sang. These are the people almost 2,000 years, more than 2,000 years ago, where they traveled to India. So what was this great attraction? Why was it that they all wanted to come to India to learn? And because India is the place which had the highest spiritual wisdom at that point of time. And I'm not saying it's the only place in the world which has given rise to great spiritual wisdom. There have been amazing, great ancient civilizations with their own great spiritual wisdom. We had the Mayan civilization, and then we had the Egyptian civilization, and they all had their own great spiritual wisdom. But at that point of time, 2,500 years ago, the whole world looked up to India. And then we had these amazing universities, Nalanda University and Takshila University. Takshila University, which is today a part of Pakistan. The ruins of the Takshila University are presently in Pakistan. And then, of course, Nalanda University, which is in Bihar, in India. And these universities were the prime goals for people to come, and they would spend years living here and learning from the great masters of that time. And what were these universities actually offering? They were offering eternal wisdom, and eternal wisdom can be divided into two parts. One is Atmagyan, which is soul knowledge, soul wisdom. When we understand what is the soul, what is the nature of the soul, what is the nature of the non-physical reality, how is it that the soul evolves, how does the soul come into the physical existence, that whole aspect of knowledge is what we call knowledge of the self, or Atma Gyan. So that is one part of eternal wisdom. And there is another part of eternal wisdom, and that is called Brahma Gyan. We talk about Brahma Gyan. Brahma Gyan is the knowledge of the whole universe and what is our role in this whole universe. And that is called Brahma Gyan. So eternal wisdom comprises both Atma Gyan as well as Brahma Gyan. And Quantum Life University is here to provide Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan to each and every individual in this world, because every individual needs to have this spiritual education. And we will go on to understand why this spiritual education is needed and why do we have to have a university which is specifically focused on giving this eternal universal wisdom to everyone. Now, if you really look at it, Atma Gyan is a part of Brahma Gyan, but we understand it separately and we also classify it separately, because unless you know the self, you cannot understand the whole universe. We all must have heard about this concept of microcosm and macrocosm, where we know that we are a part of the universe, but still the entire universe resides within each and every soul. That is a paradox, that truth. It's a paradox, but it is a universal truth that the macrocosm and the microcosm are the same. To understand the macrocosm, you need to understand the microcosm. And similarly, when you understand the macrocosm, you begin to know more about the microcosm, which is the individual self or the individuated soul, which comes from the entire source of everything, from the source of everything that is there in the whole universe. Now, the eternal wisdom, now you can say, where do we find this eternal wisdom? This eternal wisdom is actually already there within us. It's already there. And all we need to do is awaken it. And to awaken it, there are many things that you need to do. We need to, first of all, meditate. As we discussed in the last class, meditation helps us to understand the nature of our reality, how to navigate in this reality, how to also navigate in the non-physical reality. Experiences such as astral travel, going into your past lives, going into the future, going to different realms in the whole universe, into different dimensions of reality. into the different universes. All this is possible only through the practice of meditation, because meditation takes us, it is like a portal, it is like a window into this larger aspects of the universe, which are the non-physical aspects of the universe, and it helps us to connect to those aspects. So that is one, the primal focus, the most important practice, which is meditation. That is the first thing. And then we talk about understanding the wisdom of great masters who, since thousands of years, have written about their experiences, who have taught about their experiences, and we should learn from that too. That is the next aspect. So the first aspect is what we can call as swadhyaya, or we can call that as the dhyana or the meditation. The meditation helps us to connect to the non-physical aspects of our reality, and we really begin to understand, in the language of the previous class, the terrain, so to speak, of this whole world in which we are going to traverse, the whole universe which we are going to traverse and which we are going to travel in. So this terrain can be understood through this practice of meditation. So that is called dhyana or meditation, the first step of learning. When you want to learn completely about yourself, when you want to gain Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan, the first fundamental practice and process is meditation or dhyana. The second is what we call as swadhyaya. The swadhyaya is about you read about the experiences of great masters, about the books, about all their practical wisdom that they have left, like the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali Maharshi, or so many other great masters, like all the teachings of Buddha. So all these are wonderful teachings that you need to learn, and that can be learned in what we can call as self-study. Swadhyaya actually means, literally, it means self-study. And how do you do self-study? You pick up books by these great masters and you begin to read, and not just read, but you begin to practice what they taught, so that you can validate for yourself what these great truths are. Because you must always be a skeptic. If you stop being a skeptic, you will become dogmatic. You will just become a blind believer. And none of the masters have said that you must be you must just believe without validating the truth. Even Buddha said, don't believe anything of what I say, but whatever I say, you put it through the test of your own practice, of your own understanding. And if it resonates with your heart, if it resonates with your mind, if it resonates with all aspects of your being, then you can follow it. You can then believe that, yes, this is the truth for me too, not just for the one who spoke about it. So Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan can be awakened because they are already within us. Because we, as this individuated aspect, or this ray that has come from this eternal source, from this infinite source that has created the whole universe, as this individuated speck or individuated stream of consciousness or individuated spark of consciousness, we have all the wisdom and understanding that's already there within us, and all you need to do is just awaken it. So that's what Quantum Life University is doing. It is helping everyone to awaken the wisdom which is already there within us. So it is a center for learning Brahma Gyan and bringing eternal wisdom to the modern world. It is timeless wisdom, it's ageless wisdom, it is wisdom that has always been there, that is now and will always be there. Any wisdom which doesn't lose its significance with the passage of time. That's what we can call as eternal wisdom. It is the wisdom that is not going to change whether you are in this century or the next century or 10,000 years later or maybe even a million years later. The same wisdom, the same understanding, the same truths. That is what we call eternal wisdom. And the modern world, in today's world, we have completely gone out of touch with this eternal wisdom. We are so focused on just the present physical sciences, the physical senses that we have, and all our experiences are just based only on this. So that we are ignoring the complete vast world of this eternal wisdom, which can be gained through the non-physical understanding, through non-physical experiences, by connecting to the non-physical reality of which we are a part, but we are living in our unawareness of this non-physical aspect of ourselves. So Quantum Life University is this Brahma Gyan Peeth. We can call it a Brahma Gyan Peeth, or you can call it a center for learning Brahma Gyan. We'll also understand later why we need this kind of a center. Why do we need this kind of an institution? To empower the people of the world with Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan, and to bring about both individual transformation and social transformation. This is what we need to do. So Quantum Life University is bringing both individual transformation and social transformation. Individual transformation and social transformation need to go hand in hand. You cannot have the transformation, you cannot transform the world without first transforming yourself. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Sorry for that slight interruption in the video. There was a bit of a technical problem. So we are fine now. I hope you can all see me and hear me clearly. So we need to have both individual transformation and social transformation, because social transformation is the foundation for all social transformation is the individual transformation. And there is no individual transformation possible unless we awaken that great inner wisdom which is lying within us, the Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. Only when we fully understand this, we can be completely transformed beings. We can be once we know our larger reality, only then can we operate with joy, with happiness, with peace, and all the positive things that we are all aspiring for, but we are not able to achieve because of the lack of Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. And increasingly, the world is beginning to realize this. And you can see that nowadays in the world, there are so many great teachers and masters who have come up, who are trying to do this work and helping people to reach out. They're reaching out to people and helping them to awaken this inner wisdom, this Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. But we, Quantum Life University, are the first spiritual science university in the world. We are the ones to actually set up a complete universal system of education which will awaken Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. And it is targeted at every person, irrespective of which part of society they come from. As the great Chinese master Confucius said, to put the world in order, we must put the nation in order. To put the nation in order, we must put the family in order. To put the family in order, we must first cultivate our personal life, we must set our hearts right and see and notice what exactly he said. He said, set your hearts right, not the mind, because the mind is what keeps us always connected to the physical reality. It has its significance and importance, but to set the heart right, we must awaken the understanding that comes from experiencing the non-physical reality. And that's this great master Confucius, more than 2,500 years ago, he gave this wonderful quote to us that all, that is what I just said now. To have social transformation, we must have individual transformation. And through individual transformation, it can happen only when we set our hearts right, when we get our understanding of our own reality. And that's what Quantum Life University is helping people to do in this modern world, in a setting, in this scientific manner, because people are now tuned to having understanding only if things are presented to them in a scientific way. Maybe 2,500 years ago, if Buddha said something, people would sit, meditate, and understand. But now people want to have the mind also satisfied. The logical mind, the analytical mind also needs to be satisfied. And that's why it poses a much greater challenge. Spiritual education in today's world is far more difficult than it was 2,500 years ago, because at that time, people had something like a faith in a great master that yes, this person has experienced and he has great wisdom. So maybe he has something of value to offer to us. But here we are also skeptical. Skepticism is a good thing, but sometimes we are close minded. Skepticism should not lead to becoming close minded. We need to be open minded. Actually, skepticism teaches us to be open minded. It means that we can't blindly believe anyone, but it also means that you should not blindly disbelieve people. So, what is happening nowadays is that people are saying that they are skeptics, but they blindly disbelieve a lot of things without even trying to validate that these are actually truths. And that is the danger of our modern society, our so called scientific society. And then on the other hand, we have great scientists, some of the greatest minds that the whole world has produced, like Albert Einstein, who understood the value of this being open, and he never disputed or refuted any spiritual truths. And he really understood all of that. And he said that this is what we need to really start working on. Then only the whole integrated understanding can come. And through quantum mechanics and quantum physics, nowadays the scientists are able to give a more unified worldview, or rather a more unified universal view of this whole reality in which we live. Now, let's see what are the benefits of the individual transformation. Before I go on to that, I want you to just question yourself. Today's education, what is the primary goal of today's education? Just pause for a moment and think about it. What is the primary goal of education today? When you say send your child to become an engineer, or to become a doctor, or to become a chartered accountant or a lawyer, what exactly do you have in mind when you motivate them to do a certain follow a certain kind of education, or sometimes they themselves pick up their interest based on so many other factors, when they see their friends, they see others whom they look up to in society, their own parents or anyone. But what is the prime consideration? What makes us to gravitate towards a certain type of education, or a certain type of course, or a certain type of subjects that we choose? It is about livelihood. We say that yes, if I become an engineer, then I will get a job. I'll get employment. And with that employment, I will be able to earn money. And when I earn money, I will be able to take care of my material needs and I'll be able to live comfortably. So, always the underlying reason for today's education, any aspect of today's education, is almost invariably it's about just livelihood, nothing else. However, Quantum Life University understands that livelihood, everyone is after livelihood. Then why are people not happy? Because there are things beyond which we need to. Livelihood is taken care of or it is not taken care of. There are many other aspects which we need to know and understand. And only then we can actually begin to feel happy in life. And that is what is provided by spiritual science education. Spiritual science education helps us to not just learn to make a livelihood, but it helps us to learn how to really live life, with positivity, with confidence, with joy, with complete satisfaction. That is what Quantum Life University is doing. So we look at what are the different aspects that individual transformation leads to. One, it leads to physical, emotional, mental health and well-being. And we are talking about individual transformation the way it is meant to be. Now you look at today's systems of education. How many actually look at the physical, emotional, mental well-being of people? How many education systems really worry about the person's physical health, emotional health, and mental health? All they do is just cramming in academic information. It is just mere information. And that information, you try to convert it into some kind of a practical skill, something which says that you now have some kind of a life skill which helps you to make a living again. But which form of education is really focusing on your overall health, the physical, emotional, and mental health? Nothing. No education is really focusing on this. Which education? Now we look at different other aspect of your life. Everyone has some kind of fears. Some have even phobias. How do you get rid of your fears? Does the present form of education help you to get rid of your fears and your phobias? No way. Does it help to increase your positivity, confidence? Does it make you feel more gratitude towards your own life? Does it make you really happy? Does it give you happiness? No. Then what is the use of the present education that we are having right now? It still serves that same role, the role of helping you to make a living. So it has its importance. But so it is one tiny aspect of your life. But we have made it all our life. Our entire life begins to revolve around just that. How ridiculous. How can we give 100% of our focus and attention to something that probably is just a tiny percentage of our overall experience of life? Next, harmonious relationships. Does your present system of education help you to gain harmony in relationships? Not at all. There is nothing that helps you to gain about relationships. Does it make you to take self-responsibility for all your actions and situations rather than going into the perpetual blame game? Today, we are a world of blamers. For everything, we have to blame someone. We have to find someone to blame. We say, my situation is like this because my government is all messed up. My situation is like this because my parents didn't support me. I am having this miserable life because my spouse is not supporting me properly. Or you always have someone or the other to blame. My boss is not good. My job is not good. This place is not good. This house is not good. So, but when is it that we ever take responsibility for all the actions and situations in our own lives? And does the present system of education address this big problem of not taking self responsibility? Why do you think we have so much of terrorism that is on the rise in the whole world? What is the underlying problem of all terrorists? Because they always have someone to blame for all the problems in their lives. And those someone or somebody, it could be the government, or it could be a particular nationality, or it could be people of a particular ethnicity, or people of a particular sex, or people of a particular economic background. So everywhere there is someone they perceive very strongly as being responsible for all the misery in their own lives. And those become the targets of their terrorist activities. The next, does the present system of education provide any understanding about how to really become prosperous and become abundant? Yes, it helps you to make a livelihood, but does everyone who learns that subject become equally prosperous and abundant? Why do some people succeed and why don't others succeed to the same level? Why do some fail completely in creating prosperity and abundance? And again, I'm talking about the conventional definition of success. I'm not talking about the real definition of success. Because to most people today in the world, success is just becoming wealthy, materially rich. That is success. But we need to really understand, is that really success? True success is about how happy you are. The degree of your success, the level of your success should be measured in terms of the level of your happiness. If you are absolutely joyous all the time, it means that you are the most successful person in the whole world. And then, does the present system of education help you to find any clear direction and purpose of your life? Can it help you to really know what exactly you need to do in life? Are we just all here to be born, to live a life, choose some education which will probably give us some livelihood, which will probably help us to make some money and earn some material things for ourselves, and then we die? Is that all? Is that all to life? Is there nothing else to our whole existence? So does the present system of education address the need, the inherent need in each and every individual to find greater meaning in life, to find greater purpose in life, to find clear direction in life? Does it do any of this? It doesn't. And these are all the aspects, my dear friends, that Quantum Life University is here to address. It is trying to help people in all these aspects of their lives. It's helping them through the various practical processes, starting with meditational processes, and many other tools for transformation, we can call them. Help people to gain physical health, emotional health, and mental health. And when you have all the three, only then we can say that we have total well-being. It helps people to get rid of their fears and phobias so that they can operate in their lives live without all these fears and phobias so that they can really be coming up with their full potential, so that they can realize their full potential. It helps people to live their lives with positivity, with confidence, with gratitude and happiness. It helps people to improve their relationships. It helps people to take self responsibility for all their actions. Imagine if everyone was trained with this kind of an education where this blame game completely stops in the whole world. How much more peaceful a society we would be. How much more peaceful this world would be. And if we really understood the laws that help people to really become prosperous and abundant, the universal laws, the law of attraction, which says that which is like unto itself is drawn, which means that you cannot become prosperous unless you already have within you what is called as prosperity consciousness, which means the way you think, the way you behave is the one which attracts prosperity. And that is called prosperity consciousness. So to become prosperous, it's not about what you study and what you learn. It is about whether you have prosperity consciousness or not, which is why you find many people who have absolutely no education, but they've become prosperous. And there are people who have so much of education, so much of so-called expertise, PhDs, multiple PhDs, but still they're struggling with abundance, struggling with lack of prosperity, lack of material wealth in their lives. Well, at the end of it, if they are happy, that's fine, but they're not even happy, because the true measure of success is always the happiness, how happy you can be in life. Next is about finding clear direction and purpose of life. How does Quantum Life University helps people to understand what is the purpose of their life? Why are they here? And then they can understand this life, how, in what direction they need to move so that they can fulfill the purpose of their life. And then they will really be able to achieve fulfillment in their lives. So we have understood that unless we have individual transformation, we cannot have social transformation. And imagine when an individual gets transformed in all these aspects of life: physical, emotional, and mental well-being, health and well-being, getting rid of fears and phobias, developing positivity, confidence, gratitude, happiness, improving relationships, developing harmonious relationships, taking self-responsibility, becoming prosperous, abundant, finding clear direction and purpose in life, then is it not natural that we will have a progressive society, very strong family connections, a harmonious environment in the world itself? Because inner harmony, when the individual is living with harmony, then obviously there is going to be harmony in the world. And you will have universal love, peace, brotherhood, and friendship in the world. And that's the social transformation that it leads to, which begins, of course, with the individual transformation, which again begins when you understand that you're not just the physical reality, but you have the non-physical aspects to your reality, which is you're a soul that has come in for a physical experience on earth, and there are so many aspects of your soul that you don't know, which you need to understand. And once you begin to understand that, then all the different healings begin to take place within you, and you transform all these areas of your life. And then we can say education will lead you into a the spiritual science education will lead you to a progressive society, very strong family connections, harmonious environment, universal love, peace, brotherhood, and friendship. So isn't this a world that is, does it look too much to be possible? Does it look like this is something too good to be true? Friends, unless we believe it's possible, nothing is possible. And it is true that this is possible because the world has gone through many times, many situations where this kind of environment prevailed. We had in India at one point of time where there was total peace, where people would not even lock their homes, and there was complete universal love, peace, brotherhood, and friendship. And the entire society was a love based society, not having any fears at all. And we can recreate that kind of environment again. And to do that, we need to have the right kind of education. And Quantum Life University is here to provide that kind of education to the world. So then what is the significance of QLU, Quantum Life University, in today's world? Like I said before, during ancient times, Indian universities like Nalanda and Takshila taught the world a holistic way to health, wealth, harmony, and happiness. And again, the world is looking to India to show the way. Not that others are not capable of doing this, but we have this great heritage. We have this great treasure house of books, masters, literature, so many practices, so many transformational tools, the entire system of the yoga as in meditation, not as in the physical hatha yoga, which people often confuse to be yoga, because the actual yoga is meditation. Because the definition of yoga as per Maharshi Patanjali is yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga is the cessation of thoughts of the mind to really take you to an empty, blank state of mind. That is yoga. And yoga actually means union. So it is the union of your mind with the soul. That is yoga. When your mind begins to align to your soul, that union is the mind with spirit, you can call it. Soul is nothing but spirit because it is non-physical. So that is yoga. And these so many wonderful systems of transformation, everything is available here. And it is but natural that Quantum Life University is taking a birth. We can say that the Takshila University is being reborn as Quantum Life University in India. So now we look at what a little more into detail about what kind of education. We talked about Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. So can we understand a little more about what kind of topics are going to be touched in Atma Gyan? For that, we need to understand that our human psyche has four main aspects: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Now, although the connections may not be apparent to us, we may not be aware of these connections, but the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of our existence, of our psyche, are all totally interconnected and interrelated. So in order for all to deal with all the four aspects, it is essential to have an integrated approach that is based on Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. When we have what we call as mind, emotions, body, and spirit integration, when we integrate the physical, the emotional, and mental and spiritual aspects of our existence, then we achieve what is called as body, mind, emotions, and spirit integration. And in order to integrate this, it is essential to have an approach that is based on understanding of Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan. And in developing this understanding in people and helping people to awaken that inner wisdom that leads to this greater understanding, Quantum Life University can play a vital role. Okay? And this will help to restore the status of India as healthiest, wealthiest, happiest, and most peaceful country in the world, and also contribute to bring about and inspire similar changes in the whole world. It becomes a catalyst for global transformation, for global peace. So, Quantum Life University has that potential to be that seed of awakening, which helps you to awaken what is already within you and to reach and then spread out to the whole world so that we become that peaceful world that we all would like to see. Now, how is Quantum Life University going to do this? How is it going to reach out? Okay, all this may look fine, whatever we have spoken till now looks fine in theory, but what is it that Quantum Life University wishes to see? And how is it going to achieve this? The systematic dissemination of Atmagyan and Brahmagyan will be done through its publications. We have books written by Dr. Newton, which are already there, and many more books which are coming. We have magazines. We have this wonderful magazine called Eternal Lifetime. It's a quarterly magazine. Till now, more than 40 editions of this Eternal Lifetimes magazine have been published, and all of them have amazing, transformational, great articles of Atmagyan and Brahmagyan. So that is the publications part of it. Then we have many guided meditations, different kinds of audios which will help you for different aspects. If you want to heal your inner child, you have a guided meditation for that. If you want to heal your emotions and bring about emotional transformation, then you have a guided meditation for that. So we have many of these. All these come under the category of our publications. And then we have presentations such as this, this is of course just the introduction to the whole system of education at Quantum Life University. But we have many other presentations which on different topics, on, let us say, spiritual parenting, for instance. How is it that people should bring up their children? So this is just an example. So many different presentations. Then we have many practical workshops. And then we have experiential workshops, deeper experiential transformational workshops, training programs, which we call them, longer duration, which helps you not only to understand for yourself, but you also gain the skills wherein you will be able to start helping other people to transform their own lives. And then we have specially designed courses for various things, different kinds of courses which will help you to become a facilitator. You can become an inner child facilitator. You can become a past life regression facilitator. You can become a breathwork facilitator. You can become a family constellation facilitator. So all these different things, the underlying reason for all are just one, Atmagyan and Brahmagyan, that has to awaken among people to help them to heal themselves and transform themselves in all the areas of life which we have discussed till now. So this is what Quantum Life University is actually trying to do, and this is the way forward, the way it's already been doing this for the past more than 10 years as Quantum Life University, and before that for another 12 years. So for more than 20 years, we've been doing this initially as Life Research Academy, and then from the year 2007 as Quantum Life University. In the words of Dr. Newton, founder and chairman of Quantum Life University and Life Foundation, and the visionary for this entire Quantum Life University movement in this world. Quantum Life University is a one-of-its-kind platform in the world, bringing teachings from the ancient systems of knowledge from across the world onto a single platform. Maybe we can even look at how we can bring in just the new age wisdom too into this whole thing. And that is what we're already doing. Because the new age wisdom is nothing but, I can say, bringing the ancient wisdom and teaching people in the modern context. And that is what we call new age wisdom. Or you can say the composite of all of this is nothing but eternal wisdom. So Quantum Life University is a one of its kind platform in the world, bringing teachings from the ancient systems of knowledge from across the world onto a single platform. It is an open, supportive, unconditional, and holistic environment for not just gaining knowledge, but applying the knowledge in one's daily life, thus transforming it into practical wisdom. And this, in one sentence or one paragraph, is the essence of what Quantum Life University is setting out to do, is already doing in the world. And that is the operating model for Quantum Life University, is that it is set up now, the first Quantum Life University, which is the original Quantum Life University, is being set up on 150 acres of land at Vikarabad in Telangana state of Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana state of India. It was formerly Andhra Pradesh state, but it is now Vikarabad in Telangana state. And this, my friends, is the vision of Quantum Life University. And we'll look more into the details of this. So how does it, once again, let us relate Quantum Life University to what is happening in the world today. As you're aware, the world is going through a major shift in consciousness, in human consciousness. People are becoming more aware that there is more to life than our present understanding. There's something that we are missing. This has become very evident to most people. And to others who are still living in their isolation, in their ignorance, it is just a matter of time, because they also begin to understand. And events, global events such as this coronavirus situation that we're going through, it helps us to understand that if one tiny virus can bring this entire humanity to a standstill for the past several months, is there something that we are not missing in our understanding of our own lives? And if our lives are affected so much, have we not allowed it by our own way of living? Imagine if this had happened, say, 2,500 years ago. Do you think it would have affected in the same way as it affected now? Do you think there would be such a hue and cry about impending doom and economic disaster, and the whole world, like economically, is going through one of the worst phases? People are already talking about it being worse than the Great Depression, and all this negative talk that is happening around the current situation. Do you think this would have happened if we were living in a kind of society 2,500 years ago? I'm not saying there would be no impact if this had happened at that time, but would the magnitude of the impact and the way we are allowing it to affect us, would it be the same? Definitely not, because they had greater understanding about the larger reality of ourselves. And this is where a greater, higher education, which is based on Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan, will help us to deal with any kind of eventuality. And in fact, we all have heard about this: prevention is better than cure. This prevention is better than cure is what we have all heard. But do you think this whole situation could have been prevented? Yes, definitely it could have been prevented. But is it an eventuality that had to happen? Yes, it had to happen because we didn't choose to prevent it. As a humanity, we have together co-created this. There is no point in blaming some nationality or some locality of some nationality that they are the ones responsible for this and the whole world is suffering. If you really look deeply into our own choices, it becomes clear to everyone that together we have brought this upon ourselves. And we must learn the hard way that prevention is better than cure. People are not talking about immunity, but how do we build immunity? Immunity is built by first developing positive thoughts. Positive thoughts lead to positive emotions, and positive emotions then lead to positive physical health, which is coming through the immunity. So the best process to develop immunity is what I call spiritual immunity. When you develop spiritual strength, then you develop emotional strength as a result of that. And that results in physical health and well being. This is the way that the ancients knew it. If a Native American, whom we call as Red Indians, if a Native American fell sick maybe 500 years ago, he would not run to a hospital because there were no hospitals around at that time, but he knew that there is something within him which has led to this disturbance. He would probably go to what was to somebody who was referred to as a medicine man, and the medicine man would help him to look inward and to see what is actually wrong with him at a spiritual level, at an emotional level. And then automatically that transformation would bring about the transformation in health for that person. This mind, body, emotions, and spirit connection was known since ancient times, but we have forgotten it now. And these kind of situations are helping us by giving us the time to introspect, to understand that does immunity come only by popping in vitamins? Of course, vitamins have their own use, medicines have their own use. But is that how you really build in immunity? You build immunity because how do you become, how do you actually lose your immunity? Because you allow toxins to build within your body. And how do toxins build? It all starts with toxic thoughts. So once your thoughts become devoid of toxicity and they become positive, you don't have any more toxic thoughts, then your emotions become positive. You don't have toxic emotions. And then you don't have toxic emotions, you have positive emotions. Then you have positive physical health. And this is proved many times by many people. But when we talk about proof, I won't talk much about proof because, as one wise man said, for one who believes, no proof is necessary. And for one who does not believe, no amount of proof is enough. So let us not talk about proof and lack of proof. Try it because now we have all the time in the world to try this and say, today I'm going to be completely devoid of all the negative thoughts that I had. And then let this way of thinking without any toxic thoughts become a way of living. And then you start observing how it is beginning to impact your health, how it's beginning to change your health and transform your health. And then you can understand for yourself, because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So if you try it and then your health improves, then why not? Why not? Is it not worth trying? So the old systems are failing. It's quite evident that old systems are failing. And it's time for a quantum leap in our evolution. And Quantum Life University is here to help people to take this quantum leap in evolution. QLU is like a beacon and sentinel for planet Earth. It's a model for awakened living. This is a picture from the recent Soul Coach training program. Over 250 people attended this program, the 14th Soul Coach training program in English. An amazing program, and people had amazing experiences and transformational experiences. This is what QLU is here to do. It's here to bring about this transformation in all aspects, like we have discussed till now. It is helping people to achieve their highest potential. That's the vision of QLU. And the mission is to bring the eternal wisdom to the people of the world. It's situated on 150 acres of land. It all started in the year 2010 with a meditation, and this was before, it was before anything was built on the land. And in this meditation, most of the people had visions of Buddha, and Buddha giving messages that this is going to become a great learning center. We learn how to honor Mother Earth. We learn how to work with the elements. We learn how to live in harmony with our environment and nature. We worked to regenerate the land. We worked with the local people there. Because this education is not just for the elite, it is for everyone. Mainly the villagers, the people living in the villages surrounding the university. They are the first people to benefit from this whole new system of education. The soul-based education. We're looking at sustainability, helping to create our own food, to grow our own food. Harmony with the plant kingdom. We learn that plants have consciousness, plants have emotions, that you can communicate with plants. Plants grow better when the vibrations are positive. So we can send love, peace to them, then they grow better. And then we can together create a more harmonious environment. We're working on reforestation. The entire barren land is now becoming more and more green. And very soon it will become like a wonderful forest. We're doing things for water harvesting, creating new water bodies, animal welfare, understanding that our that we need to live in harmony with the animal kingdom. That we are not here to rule the earth. We are here to live in harmony with the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and mineral kingdom. That there should be peaceful coexistence and symbiotic relationship, and not the kind of relationship that is there today, where we are just exploiting minerals, we're exploiting animals, and we're exploiting plants. The people in the surrounding villages, just look how happy they are. Can we try to be like them? We are trying to make them like us. How can we be so stupid? Can we become like them? Try to be as happy as them? They may not know where the next meal is coming from, but still look at the joy in their faces. We have so much to learn from them. So we're learning from them. Learning is a two-way street. It's not about always teaching. Teaching is the best form of learning. When we teach them, we learn so much more. We learn, in fact, more than what we teach. Talking about women empowerment, these are not just slogans. These are something that have been practically done around Life University. How to overcome challenges with the joy. How to overcome all the challenges that we face. And children, we must catch them young. We must introduce them to soul-based education at the earliest possible. So that how I wish that someone gave me this kind of education when I was 3 or 4 years old. But it's better late than never. But at least the new generation, we must begin at a very early age. Introduce them to meditation. Introduce them to soul-based education. The 4 pillars of Quantum Life University are wisdom, compassion, peace, and joy. Wisdom, compassion, peace, and joy. These are the 4 pillars of Quantum Life University. If you want evolution, a quantum jump in evolution, then there has to be some kind of a revolution. And what Quantum Life University is doing is bringing about a kind of spiritual education revolution in this world. It is a hub of spiritual education. We plan to have the world's largest spiritual library with over 100,000 books. We have already sourced more than 10,000 books till date, and it's an ongoing process. And now we come to the next aspect, the more detailed structure of the Quantum Life University, which we call as the 18 Schools of Wisdom. So Quantum Life University will be teaching the soul education or spiritual science education, for which we have decided on 18 departments, or each department you can call as a School of Wisdom. So these are divided into 3 categories or 3 Jnanapitas, or we can call them as 3 different divisions. One is Jnanapita of Spiritual Sciences. The second is Jnanapita of Transpersonal Sciences. And the third is Jnanapita of Life Sciences. So the first Jnanapita is the Jnanapita of Spiritual Sciences, which has 6 schools of wisdom. Similarly, the Jnanapita of Transpersonal Sciences has again 6 schools of wisdom, and the Jnanapita of Life Sciences has 6 schools of wisdom. So the first one is Jnanapita of Spiritual Sciences, and in this we have the first school of wisdom being meditation. And like I've said many times before, meditation is the fundamental practice. It is like the alpha and omega of spiritual practices. And the first school of wisdom is about meditation. The second is about reincarnation. Third is about Kundalini. Fourth is about healing. Fifth is about the rediscovery of scriptures, the ancient scriptures that we have. Sixth is enlightenment. Then coming to the Jnanapita of Transpersonal Sciences, aura, third eye, astral travel, psychokinesis, mediumship and channeling, and dreams. And then we have the Jnanapita of Life Sciences, spiritual fine arts, spiritual agriculture and animal welfare, holistic leadership, holistic economics, holistic education, and holistic living. These are the different. Together they form the 18 schools of wisdom. If you look at any course of the Quantum Life University, it comes from these 18 schools of wisdom. Now let's look at the Jnanapita of Spiritual Sciences. So meditation, reincarnation, Kundalini, healing, rediscovery of scriptures, and enlightenment. We'll look at each one and see what each one has to offer. The School of Meditation. In this School of Meditation, we would teach about meditation, carry out research about the benefits of meditation, and how meditation can be improved, different ways to improve the effectiveness of the meditation that you do, to be able to help you to meditate better, and also know what you're going to benefit, how you're going to benefit if you meditate. So all this, every school of wisdom will have a research wing also. We are not going to be just teaching only theory. There's going to be practicals as well. Completely, it is going to be theory, practice, and research all combined. It's a wonderful, harmonious integration of theory, practice, and research. Every school of wisdom. Second is about the School of Reincarnation. This is where you have practical tools like past life regression, life between lives regression, and understanding law of karma. All this comes under the School of Reincarnation. And like every other school, there's going to be theory, practice, and research. We will research about validated cases of past life regression, where someone is seeing a certain past life, and then we can go into that historical time period and research the available data and see whether we could find a validation where such a person really existed in history. These kind of validations are part of the research. the research on what are the benefits and how one benefits when they connect to their past life and they're applying that understanding in the present life. So that is the research aspects. These are the different areas of research. Then we have School of Kundalini. So this is all about the chakras and the energies, the Kundalini energy. Again, theory, practice, and research all go hand in hand. Then School of Healing. Here you have all the different alternative forms of healing. Actually, whatever we call alternative now will now become mainstream very soon. And what we now know as conventional forms of treatment, they all are going to become like alternative in course of time. As people begin to understand more and more about these true forms of healing, which are based on energy healing, root cause therapies. Then we have School of Rediscovery of Scriptures. Scriptures are a treasure house of ancient and eternal wisdom. But the one challenge is that many of them have been written in a very symbolic manner. When we read some of the scriptures, they appear to be just like stories. But there is deep symbolism within those stories, which needs to be decoded. And the School of Rediscovery of Scriptures will do that. It is going to decode and present it in a way that people can understand without any of the symbolism, or to help people to understand the symbolism so that the true messages can be understood. And then School of Enlightenment. After a certain level of evolution, every soul yearns to reach to that state of enlightenment. The School of Enlightenment will teach, first it was going to teach people about the lives of the great enlightened masters. Then it's going to teach what are the practical things that they did to reach that state. Because when we say spiritual science, we say that, when do we call something a science? We call it a science when we understand that something done in a specific manner can have repeatable results. So, can anyone following the same scientific system that they have followed, can they also reach to the same level of enlightenment? Yes, it is possible. And we need to understand, and the School of Enlightenment will teach about how one can make enlightenment their pursuit. Then we come to the Jnanapita of Transpersonal Sciences, where we have 6 schools of wisdom: aura, third eye, astral travel, psychokinesis, mediumship and channeling, and dreams. The School of Aura teaches about the electromagnetic auras that we all have, not just us, but even animals and plants, anything that has life of any form. In fact, later, scientists have found that even minerals and crystals and even physical objects, they have their own auras. Because the life force that created the universe, it pervades every aspect of the universe. And everything is nothing but pulsating electromagnetic energy. And this can be seen, it can be perceived. And the School of Aura teaches about this. Then we have School of Third Eye. Third eye experiences. We talk about the third eye, which is a non-physical eye, or it is the perception which is beyond the 5 physical senses. What we perceive with the 5 physical senses are our vision, our hearing, our smell, touch, and taste. But the perception beyond the 5 physical senses are called third eye perception, or the third eye experiences. The School of Third Eye teaches about the practical aspects, the theory, as well as research on third eye experiences. Then we have School of Astral Travel, which is also called as out-of-body experiences. So this is another school of wisdom, researching and teaching and practically showing how one can have an out-of-body experience and what they can gain from this. Then School of Psychokinesis, mind over matter. The mind has the ability to even manipulate matter directly. So the School of Psychokinesis, telepathy, all this comes under the School of Psychokinesis. Then we have School of Mediumship and Channeling, where we have the wisdom that is given to us by ascended masters, by masters who are no longer in the physical realm. They communicate with us, and that process of communication is called mediumship and channeling. So there's going to be a school of wisdom which is helping people to learn about mediumship and channeling, practice mediumship and channeling, and also do research on mediumship and channeling. And then we have School of Dreams. Dreams, if you can understand your dreams, you can really understand a lot more about what is going on in your life and how to transform your life in a more positive way. So this is the School of Dreams. And then the last Jnanapita is the Jnanapita of Life Sciences. Here we come into a more human interface, like how our spiritual education can be expressed in different areas of life, practically. That's why we call it as life sciences. So one is spiritual fine arts. There, in fact, every artist is a kind of a channel for his art, because the idea for the art doesn't come from the mind. It comes from some deeper aspect of yourself. And spiritual fine arts helps to build and strengthen that connection with the higher aspect of yourself, which you can call the higher self or the soul, through which greater fine arts can be channeled. Then spiritual agriculture and animal welfare, harmony with the plant kingdom and animal kingdom. When you put that understanding into practice, we all heard about organic farming. We say that when we don't use any chemical fertilizers and pesticides and we just grow using only organic fertilizers and pesticides, then it's organic farming. Then now people are talking about natural farming. Natural farming is practicing farming the way it happens in nature, the way a forest grows. But we talk about spiritual agriculture. The aspect that is missing in all these types of farming is the understanding that plants have consciousness, that you can communicate with them. So when we add this understanding to, say, natural farming, then what we get is spiritual farming or spiritual agriculture. And the understanding that animals have consciousness and they can communicate probably is known by people who have pets. But most other people are unaware of this wonderful connection. And building and strengthening this connection is the goal of the animal welfare courses in the Quantum Life University. So together we have the School of Spiritual Agriculture and Animal Welfare, which forms another school of wisdom. And then we have the last four, which are holistic leadership, holistic economics, holistic education, and holistic living. So these are how do you apply spiritual wisdom and the spiritual laws or the universal laws of the world or the universe into improving your leadership, into economics. How can you manifest prosperity and abundance by understanding and applying the spiritual laws of the universe, the law of attraction, the law of deliberate creation? How do you apply these things? So that is the School of Holistic Economics. School of Holistic Education is about completely expanding education to the soul-based education, to bring Atma Gyan and Brahma Gyan to all the individuals of the world. And then holistic living. Living comprises many aspects, starting from birth to death. So we start with how to bring babies into this world in a more natural way, giving them options like water birthing, how to parent children, how to take care of children, how to introduce them to soul-based education from the early stages of their life, how to introduce them to practices like meditation right from the beginning. And how do you do parenting and how do you interact, relationships with people. All these aspects come under holistic living. So these, my friends, are the 18 schools of wisdom. So here we look at these. I have already explained about spiritual fine arts, School of Spiritual Agriculture and Animal Welfare, School of Holistic Leadership, School of Holistic Economics, this, my friends, is an actual photograph taken at the Quantum Life University during the monsoon season. These amazing weaver bird nests, which gave me this idea of how you can learn holistic economics from nature and how something as tiny as a weaver bird can teach us about prosperity, abundance, living in harmony with nature. School of Holistic Education and School of Holistic Living. So friends, I welcome you all to join the grander purpose of Quantum Life University. And help us to bring spiritual education to the world. You can participate in different ways. When we are doing the tree planting, you can come and participate. You can do spiritual farming. You can participate in village health camps. You can participate in fundraising for the Quantum Life University. You can donate, or you can offer your unique skills and talents. Maybe you're good at web designing. Maybe you're good at designing brochures. Or maybe you're good at promoting, or maybe you're good at raising donations. Whatever be your skill, you can offer your skill and talent. Donations need not be only in the form of money. It could be about the skill that you offer or the talent that you can share with us. And please do visit our website, qluglobal.org. qluglobal.org. A lot of information is available on our website, qluglobal.org. And friends, now let us meditate for some time. Let us do this wonderful practice of meditation.